Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Terry Morrow and I'm here with Catherine Haleko. Say hi, Catherine.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast we talk about parenting issues, but once a week Catherine and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. This week we're talking about the West Wing episode War Crimes. And we were going to be talking about The Martian, which was Catherine's challenge to me this week, except that the other challenges I had this week sort of took over, and I did not have a chance to watch it. Bad Terry. I'm slapping my wrist even as we speak. So we will leave the guy up there on Mars for another week. He's been waiting a long time. It'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
He's got some, I understand he's learned how to grow some little plants and stuff. So we'll get back to him next week. And today we will just talk about war crimes and something that people online are finding a crime today, which is the semifinal round of Dancing with the Stars.
That's right.
And with yet another, say it with us kids, shocking elimination. Which, wow, I was not really expecting that. I was in the awkward position of hoping that David would stick around for another week and yet not really wanting any of the other people to be eliminated either. Mm-hmm. So it sure seemed like they were giving David the lovely parting gifts, the speeches about what a good guy he was and all of that. I thought, well, this is how they nicely usher him off the stage. Thank you very much for your service, sir. And then he didn't go.
No.
So Simone went instead, and this may be wishful thinking, but it sure looked to me like she was psyched to be going. She did not look upset at all. Now, of course, she's a gymnast and she's trained to smile no matter what, which is what they've been dinging her for the entire show. But I kind of got the feeling she was over it.
Yeah, she was like, okay, I'm good with you guys. I've done sort of like she did in her package, like, I have done everything. So if that's not good enough, then fine, goodbye. Then
I'll just go sit with my huge array of gold medals and just be the best gymnast ever. See ya.
Bye.
Enjoy your little mirror ball, whoever. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I get to come back next week for the finale, and then I don't have all the pressure on me, and I could just have fun. Right. So, good deal.
Good point.
So I could not feel too bad for her, because I think that it's probably on some level a relief. Probably would have been on some level a relief for David, too.
Yeah.
Now he's got to do a freestyle. But it's interesting. Mm-hmm. I've been, checking all the message boards and places that I go to look for opinions on this. And some people are incensed and some people are, you know what? I like David. So there. And there's, this ongoing, is it a dance contest or is it a popularity contest? If it's a dance contest, you should have the best dancers at the end. And anybody who is voting for anybody who's not the best dancer is a stupid yahoo. And on the other hand, if half of your vote is open to the public,
right,
it's not really a dance contest. Mm-hmm. So, and I feel like if the show, they showed the judges all looking upset and aghast, which, I'm sure David says, thank you very much, all of you, for looking horrified that I'm still here. Very nice. But if you're going to want the public to vote in an informed way and not just in a, hey, I like that person, or hey, I know that person, or you know what? I just happen to like this better. Then you got to tell them what to look for. You got to have people who are more or less on some similar plane of ability. Mm-hmm. And do dances in such a way that you say, okay, here is what a rumba is supposed to look like. Here are the elements we look for in a rumba. Let's look at these two people doing a rumba and let's compare.
Right.
But they don't do that. They don't want to do that because that will lose them viewers probably, because who cares? Mm-hmm. And so, people are going to vote for who they like. Cubs fans are going to vote for David Ross until they can't vote for him anymore. Right. So that's the show that you have, Embrace it or change it is basically my feeling. Right. I don't think anybody has ever won based purely on voters, but maybe it's time.
This could be the time. Yeah, I did think that this week, it was nice that there was a minimum of troupe dances and big production numbers, and there were a couple, but most of them it was classic, here's the dance. You
Right.
can see the whole thing,
Yeah.
actually showing you, the dance. So
Yeah. Simone's first dance was a little busy. But,
yeah, that was one of the ones that was very, it was hard to even see them with all that lighting in the background and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So.
Yeah. So, I think it would be really, really ironic if the year in which the big complaint going in was there are like 4 or 5 people who are almost professional dancers here. If like the least professional one
actually won it.
That would be an indicator of a time for course correction for Dancing with the Stars, I think. The rap going in was it's not fair to judge us against professional gymnasts and professional, entertainers who dance as part of their job.
Right.
And yet, he did pretty well.
Yeah.
So I still am at a point where I really would not be unhappy for any of them to win.
Right.
I split my votes between Rashad and David. But again, Normani is perfectly fine. She's very nice. I enjoy watching her. She's a beautiful dancer.
And she has grown on
She
me.
was from the very, very beginning, which is perhaps a problem. But if she won, she would be a great winner.
But she's grown on me just by being personable and
yes,
just a little more interesting than I thought she was going to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
she's had a very good attitude.
Good attitude and, obviously a good dancer, but just kind of fun to watch even in her packages and things. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like her more than I used to.
Still holding Fifth Harmony songs against her, but only a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And they do seem to really be laying it on thick for her, the show, in the last 2 weeks of packages.
Right.
I'm not sure that's appropriate at this point, but you know what? It's her story, so.
Yep, they were working the grandma this time.
Yeah, wow, were they working the grandma. Wow. Yes, they have deployed grandma. Mm-hmm. So it will be interesting to see next week if that is sufficient. No reason it should not be. Mm-hmm. I kind of would like for Val not to win 2 in a row, but you can't hold that against the star.
Right.
And at the same time, whether David deserves to be in the finals or not, Lindsay absolutely deserves to be there because she has done a fabulous job with him. And with other partners who on paper didn't look so hot. And she seems to have a really, really good rapport and make it really comfortable and fun, which is always nice to watch. And this is a little disgusting, but this has been the nature of their partnership. That fart joke from a couple of weeks ago, not only did she let that be the centerpiece of her package and cheerfully participate in it, she retweeted on her Twitter feed every joke anybody made about it. I gotta think most pros would not do that. Right. She is in the spirit of having a baseball player as your partner, you know? Right. And completely cheerful and unself-conscious about it. So, she puts her all into it. Yeah. And that should be possible to recognize that.
Right. You want to be able to reward that.
The way it goes, I think she's earned her spot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I don't know. I really don't know how it's going to work out. Mm-hmm. But there's going to be a whole lot of unhappy people if David wins it. And many people going, well, you deserved that. So.
Right. Well, and many people, I'll never watch again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm reading a lot of the people upset about things. And, it's just this stupid TV reality show. It's really not that big a deal.
Right.
The mirror ball does not actually give you special powers. Right. A bigger paycheck for the gig, probably. But it's really probably more important in the long run to the pro than to the star. Mm-hmm. Probably we don't need to be calling each other names over this. I think I heard David fans described as ignorant hausfraus. Mm. And there was another one, I can't remember what it was. Deplorables. That's a popular one now. So it's it's a stupid dance competition. Really? Yeah. Really? We're making it about that.
Let's try to gain a little perspective.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of people who are defending Normani and a lot of people who just don't connect with her, and then people who are calling the people who don't connect with her names and vice versa. And it's just getting a little bit heated. Can't we just have them all win?
Right. Yes.
Can't we just at this point say, you know what, this was an interesting season. This was a season we're going to have to sit down and think about a little bit. But y'all did good.
Or
take a break, sit down, massage your feet.
Give some other prizes, like, best fart joke.
There you go. I think that that nobody else would contest them for that.
That's right.
Oh, well. It's been an interesting season.
Yes.
And I hooked my friend Mike on the show now. Friend of the podcast, Mike, called me an evil person the other day for sucking him into both Facebook and Dancing with the Stars. And he revealed that he did not vote, although he wished Simone would win. And I said, well, you got to vote for her or else it's your fault if she loses. So, Mike, you're too late. Mike. And this is why she lost.
It's all you. No one else.
Anyway, so do you have any thoughts on any of the particular dances or goings on?
Well, I'm trying to think. Like, I did enjoy Sasha and Simone's jive, even though it had all that action going on behind it.
Yeah.
They still made it really fun to watch. And as I said before, I did like how there were just, it was like some more classic, you had your waltz and you had your foxtrot and you got to actually see what was happening, and I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought all the dances were enjoyable to watch. I think that they need to, if they are going to do any soul searching after this season, they need to really rethink the judging and how they do that, because there's some thought of people I've read that they sort of scored Simone low all through the season and really, really picked on her, and then seemed like aghast that she went home. And it's like, you maybe should have supported her a little bit more while she was there. Right. Because it looks like bad. Sure, we told you terrible things last week, but we like you. Right. Where are you going? Right. The judging has never been particularly comprehensible to me on the show, and it's just gotten worse and worse. And this year, the scores don't seem to have anything to do with the comments. Everybody seems to be getting high scores regardless. And, one way to get people to vote in a more informed way is to explain yourself better. Yeah. So, and make it not seem petty or not seem like, okay, this is who they've chosen this year that they're going to constantly praise. And this is who they're going to pick on. Be interesting. But I've enjoyed it. Actually, I really enjoyed the season, and I like not hating anybody in the semifinals and finals. In the past years, I've mostly been voting against that one person
that you can't stand.
And this year, I'm happy. I couldn't even yell at the screen who I wanted to win when they were saying who was gonna stay, go away. I didn't know who I wanted to go away. Yeah. So I should have had 4 in the finals.
Right. So did we determine? I can't remember if is it 2 nights next week or
it's
just one? It's got
to be 2 nights next week.
Okay.
I think so. So are you voting?
Yeah, I'll vote, but
but you got to vote online now because you watched it late.
I know.
Who are you voting
for?
Do you wish to?
I don't know. I can't. I can't decide. I mean, maybe Rashad. I don't know, but I like David, and like I said, Normani has grown on me too. So.
Yeah, I really like all of them. It was hard to know, and I knew I should just vote for one, give all my votes for one, because that's really the only way. Because if you split them, then the third person you're giving an advantage. But I couldn't decide. I would have, if I'd had 6 votes, I would have given one to. I don't know. Right. But,
I mean, if you're going to base it strictly on dancing.
Yes.
Then it's Normani.
Absolutely.
But.
If you're going to do it on most progress and most surprising performance by somebody who this is not his gig, Rashad has done a fabulous job. And he's very nice to watch. And I would like Emma to win something.
Right.
Then I also like David. I'm one of those terrible people. And I thought his 2 dances were really good when you consider that this person is. I thought he looked pretty good. And the dances were nicely done, nicely conceived, and featured him well. So, I don't know. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be upset.
It's tough making a decision at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's nice to be in that position.
So this means we will bring you our round 2 on Wednesday next week, right?
That's right. We'll have to wait 1 extra day for me to get The Martian watched.
Thank you to Dancing with the Stars for giving Terry an extra.
Yeah. Poor guy still waiting there on Mars. Oh, wait, there's an extra day. Okay, that's fine.
I think he'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, shall we move on to our West Wing episode for the week?
Sure.
We watched War Crimes, an episode I was not looking forward to watching, and in fact, I put it off till last night.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed it better than I thought I would. I remembered some parts of it, but not all of it. So, what did you think of it, seeing it the first time?
What did I think of it? No, it's been a while. No,
you did not wait till last night to watch it.
I did not. You know, I wasn't sure how I felt about the whole that reporter coming back and the thing with CJ.
Yes,
that was a little.
I would have liked that less had it not been Michael O'Keefe, who I like.
Right.
So it's like, oh, it's that guy.
Right. He himself was great. So, but you know, it was a little banter that was fun, and I really enjoyed the scene with the president and the vice president where they had like kind of a come to Jesus moment there, which, you know, was overdue and was really well done and well played. So
yes,
and then of course you had Sam just popping up every once in a while talking about the penny. I enjoyed how on the podcast they called it like Sam's personal big block of cheese day.
Yes, it really was.
It was, absolutely.
And that whole extended scene with Jed and Abby at the beginning was adorable and must have been so much fun for them to do.
Yes.
They both got to do that thing they do. Mm-hmm. And you can just imagine that relationship and how people probably just cleared the room lots of times.
Like, okay, I don't need to be here.
I really enjoyed all that banter between them.
Right.
And Donna's little situation.
Yeah, like meeting up with Cliff in the dark of night.
Yeah, by the Friends fountain. I did not notice that. But that scene was just sort of, you know, how awkward and awful to have your boss who you're secretly in love with hand your personal diary to the guy you hooked up with.
Right.
It's just, Donna looked remarkably not curled up into a tiny ball throughout that all.
Right.
I guess she's over it. But how horrifying that they might be able to subpoena your diary.
I know.
The diary of, like, a low-level staffer. Really?
Right.
They're gonna, like...
what's it gonna say? Well, and that was sort of her gut reaction. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter, so why should I have to say that I have it?
And nobody would have known had she not done that thing.
Right.
That she should not have done.
Right.
And this is why.
Mm-hmm. I did think that on the podcast... they made a good point about, you know, so much of this being about guilt and blame.
Yes.
And passing it around from person to person to person to person.
Yes.
In so many different situations. So
right.
That was interesting.
Right. That was interesting what they were saying. That there was some thought of having Donna be the one that took the fall for everything. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
That would have been unfortunate.
Right.
And... I mean, this alone, just the fact that she had to go there and talk to the committee and the possibility of having to share your diary and all this stuff, that's mortifying enough.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the way Cliff was sort of just like, I would just like to say for the record that we've known each other socially. Like, I don't know. I feel like at that point, could someone have said, like, well, then maybe we need someone else to actually, like, lead this conversation. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's okay if he's in the room, but does he have to be, like, heading it up? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess because it's just an informal thing, it was okay, but, yeah, that was kind of creepy. And I'm glad that she called him on his smarminess later on. Yeah. Like the West Wing Weekly podcasters, that was, you are not cute. Stop that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is okay when you're at the bar or out on the street corner or I suppose in her apartment, but
when
not the
she's
place for
sitting
it,
there under oath and totally
and
freaked
mortified.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he does turn out to be a basically good guy, but this was not his finest day.
No.
And I guess he's a good guy because he lets Donna get away with her diary, but...
Right. Well, I mean, she has a point, too, though.
Yes.
You know, that he would have to... would he have to admit that's how he knew she had it?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So awkward all around.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole, the plot with John Spencer and Gerald McRaney is the part that I remembered as kind of, and as much as I like seeing Gerald McRaney on things.
Yes. I thought of you when I'm like, hey, it's Gerald McRaney.
Yes. And that, not my favorite subplot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they made some good points about it on the West Wing Weekly podcast, as his big reveal would not necessarily have had the intended effect.
Right.
But it's still, what a horrible thing to do to Leo.
Yeah.
That is not nice.
Yeah, that was devastating.
Not nice to have done it in the first place, and then years later to tell him that.
Right. Just so you know, here's what you did. Yes. And that, it was a lot for one episode to try to hit
really
gun control and war crimes. And, lying under oath. Like, there was a lot.
And the penny.
Right.
And
don't forget the penny.
And the preacher who didn't know what to do with an audience. And Toby. And somebody who
we didn't even talk about that. Yeah. See, there was too much.
This sucker was loaded, man. Subplot upon subplot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I fall on the line of the side of the line of West Wing fans who kind of like that scene, especially because it's so unexpected coming from Toby.
Right. Yeah. No, I liked it, and it's just that there was so much else happening in this.
That's right.
In this episode,
lost.
you forget about it.
Yes, although before we're all on the same team, I'm your guy, he was, if they can't be here on a Sunday in 2 hours, they're fired. Let's not forget that was part of the equation. Find them wherever they may be having leisure time, their tiny bit of leisure time.
Poor Ginger.
And tell them they have to be back here in 2 hours.
And Ginger had to do that dirty work. Yes. So that kind of stinks.
Poor Ginger. Mm-hmm. She needs a raise. But, I personally feel that sort of making them feel guilty is possibly more effective than yelling at them.
Well, it very much felt like, the whole, I'm not mad, I'm very disappointed in you. Like, that parents can do to a kid.
Yes, that is so much more effective.
Yeah.
And, the extras there in the room did varying degrees of a good job on looking like I let Dad down.
Right. Exactly.
Some of them deserved a little extra in their paycheck.
Right.
Some of them just looked like, yeah, you know what? I was doing something.
Some of them were like, maybe I shouldn't have come back in.
Yeah, which is probably accurate. But anyway, so that was just a chock full of plot
very much
episode.
So. It was.
Yeah. But some parts more enjoyable than others. But I had to stop and wait a few times as I was watching it before I watched the scene of Donna doing her deposition, because
you just knew it was going to hurt to watch that again.
Yeah, just I can empathize too much with that situation of being pulled into something that is absolutely 100% so far outside of anything that you did, and yet you have the potential of screwing things up for everybody. So I would not want to be in that position.
No, certainly not.
Yes. So that was it for this week's West Wing. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about it?
No, I don't think so. Next week is called Gone Quiet.
Yes, it is. That does not mean that Aaron Sorkin took the week off and they all just sit in a room and stare at each other.
No.
Lest you thought that.
Never. So we'll watch out for next time.
And we will bump The Martian another week.
Mm-hmm.
And I will definitely get it watched this week.
Okay.
I hope.
I hope.
As we discussed before this podcast started, I am caught in a deadline spiral where I have to keep constantly dropping everything to get something done. And then when I pick the other things up, they are then at that point where I have to drop everything else and get it done.
Right.
And it does not really allow for 2 hours sitting and watching a movie. But I did manage to sit and watch Dancing with the Stars when I should have been doing other things last night. So I will blame it all on Dancing with the Stars.
And next week, there's more where that came
That's
from.
right, yes. And then we're going to think of all the free time we're going to have on our hands.
That's right.
Until the fall.
Exactly. Until it comes back.
We'll have to like actually watch extra entertainment for this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Get ready.
Yeah. Well, that will be it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes, including our daily speed rounds and weekly group chats. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Goodbye, everybody.